A full moon is the lunar phase that occurs when the moon is completely illuminated as seen from the Earth. This occurs when the moon is in opposition to the sun. This means that the hemisphere of the moon that is facing the Earth is almost fully illuminated by the sun and appears round. Lunar eclipses can occur only at full moon, where the moon's orbit allows it to pass through the Earth's shadow. Lunar eclipses do not occur every month because the moon usually passes above or below the Earth's shadow. Lunar eclipses can occur only when the full moon occurs near the two nodes of the orbit, either the ascending or descending node. This causes eclipses to only occur about every 6 months, and often 2 weeks before or after a solar eclipse at new moon at the opposite node. The time interval between similar lunar phases, the synodic month, averages about 29.53 days. Therefore, in those lunar calendars in which each month begins on the new moon, the full moon falls on either the 14th or 15th of the lunar month. Because calendar months have a whole number of days, lunar months may be either 29 or 30 days long. Characteristics: a full moon is often thought of as an event of a full night's duration. This is somewhat misleading because the moon seen from Earth is continuously becoming larger or smaller. Its absolute maximum size occurs at the moment expansion has stopped. For any given location, about half of these absolute maximum full moons will be potentially visible, as the other half occur during the day, when the full moon is below the horizon. Many almanacs list full moons not just by date, but by their exact time as well, usually in Coordinated Universal Time. Typical monthly calendars that include phases of the moon may be off by 1 day if intended for use in a different time zone. Full moons are generally a poor time to conduct astronomical observations, since the bright reflected sunlight from the moon overwhelms the dimmer light from stars. On the 12th of December 2008, the full moon occurred closer to the Earth than it had at any time for the previous 15 years. On the 19th of March 2011, another super full moon occurred, closer to the Earth than it had at any time for the previous 18 years. Formula: the date and approximate time of a specific full moon can be calculated from the following equation, where d is the number of days since the 1st of January 2000 in the terrestrial time scale used in astronomical ephemerides, for universal time. Add the following approximate correction to d days, where n is the number of full moons since the first full moon of 2000. The true time of a full moon may differ from this approximation by up to about 14.5 hours as a result of the non-circularity of the moon's orbit. See new moon for an explanation of the formula and its parameters. The age and apparent size of the full moon vary in a cycle of just under 14 synodic months, which has been referred to as a full moon cycle. In folklore and tradition, full moons are traditionally associated with temporal insomnia, insanity and various magical phenomena, such as lycanthropy. Psychologists, however, have found that there is no strong evidence for effects on human behavior around the time of a full moon. They find that studies are generally not consistent, with some showing a positive effect and others showing a negative effect. In one instance, the 23rd of December 2000 issue of the British Medical Journal published 2 studies on dog bite admission to hospitals in England and Australia. The study of the Bradford Royal Infirmary found that dog bites were twice as common during a full moon, whereas the study conducted by the public hospitals in Australia found that they were less likely. All this is relevant to canine rather than human behavior. Full moon names: historically, month names are names of moons in lunisolar calendars. Since the introduction of the solar Julian calendar in the Roman Empire, and later the Gregorian calendar worldwide, month names have ceased to be perceived as moon names. The traditional Old English month names were equated with the names of the Julian calendar from an early time. Some full moons have developed new names in modern times, e.g., the blue moon. and the names Harvest Moon and Hunter's Moon for the full moons of autumn. Harvest and Hunter's Moons. The Harvest Moon and Hunter's Moon are traditional terms for the full moons occurring during late summer and in the autumn. In the Northern Hemisphere, usually in August, September and October respectively. The harvest moon is the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox, and the hunter's moon is the one following it. The names are recorded from the early 18th century. OED for harvest moon cites a 1706 reference, and for hunter's moon, a 1710 edition of the British Apollo, where the term is attributed to the country people. The names became traditional in American folklore, where they are now often popularly attributed to the Native Americans. The Feast of the Hunter's Moon is a yearly festival in West Lafayette, Indiana, held in late September or early October each year since 1968. In 2010, the harvest moon occurred on the night of equinox itself for the first time since 1991. All full moons rise around the time of sunset. Because the moon moves eastward among the stars faster than the sun, its meridian passage is delayed, causing it to rise later each day, on average by about 50.47 minutes. The harvest moon and hunter's moon are unique because the time difference between moonrises on successive evenings is much shorter than average. The moon rises approximately 30 minutes later from one night to the next, as seen from about 40 degrees N or S latitude. Thus, there is no long period of darkness between sunset and moonrise for several days following the actual date of the full moon. Farmers' Almanacs. The main Farmer's Almanac from c. the 1930s began to publish Native American, Indian, full moon names. The Farmer's Almanac continues to do so. An early list of Indian month names was published in 1918 by Daniel Carter Beard in his The American Boy's Book of Signs, Signals and Symbols for use by the Boy Scouts. Beard's Indian month names were January, difficulty, black smoke; February, raccoon, bare spots on the ground; March, wind, little grass, sore eye; April, ducks, goose eggs; May, green grass, root food; June, corn planting, strawberry; July, buffalo, hot sun; August, harvest, cow buffalo; September, wild rice, red plum; October, leaf falling, nuts; November, deer mating, fur pelts; December, wolves, big moon. Such names have gained currency in American folklore. They appear in print more widely outside of the almanac tradition from the 1990s in popular publications about the moon. Mysteries of the Moon by Patricia Haddock gave an extensive list of such names along with the individual tribal groups they were supposedly associated with. Haddock supposes that certain colonial American moon names were adopted from Algonquin languages, while others are based in European tradition. The individual names given in Farmer's Almanac include January, wolf moon, also old moon; February, snow moon, also hunger moon; March, worm moon, crow moon, sap moon, lenten moon; April, seed moon, pink moon, sprouting grass moon, egg moon, fish moon; May, milk moon, flower moon, corn planting moon; June, mead moon, strawberry moon, rose moon, thunder moon; July, hay moon, buck moon, thunder moon; August, corn moon, sturgeon moon, red moon, green corn moon, grain moon; September, harvest moon, full corn moon; October, hunter's moon, blood moon, sanguine moon; November, beaver moon, frosty moon; December, oak moon, cold moon, long night's moon. The long night's moon is the last of the year and the closest to the winter solstice. Hindu full moon festivals. In Hinduism, most festivals are celebrated on auspicious days. Many of the Hindu festivals are celebrated on days with full moon night. Different parts of India celebrate the same day with different names, as listed below. Chaitra Purnima, Gudi Padua, Ugadi, Hanuman Jayanti, Vaishak Purnima, Narasimha Jayanti, Buddha Jayanti, Jaishtha Purnima, Vatsavitri Vrat Vat Purnima, Guru Purnima, the full moon of month Ashad, Vyas Purnima, important day for starting education and honoring teachers. Shravan Purnima, good day for starting Upanayan day. Avani Avatam, Raksha Bandhan conceptually Onam also comes on this day. Bhadrapad Purnima, starting of Pitru Paksha. Madhu Purnima, Ashvin Purnima, Shirad Purnima, Kartik Purnima, Thrakartika, Margazisha Purnima, Tiruvatira, Dattatreya Jayanthi, Pusha Purnima, Taipusam, Shakambari Purnima, Magha Purnima, Falguna Purnima, Holi, lunar and lunisolar calendars. Most pre-modern calendars the world over were lunisolar, combining the solar year with the lunation by means of intercalary months. The Julian calendar abandoned this method in favor of a purely solar reckoning, while conversely the 7th century Islamic calendar opted for a purely lunar one. A continuing lunisolar calendar is in the Hebrew calendar. Evidence of this is noted in the dates of Passover and Easter in Judaism and Christianity, respectively. The date of the Jewish Rosh Hashanah and Sukkot festivals along with all other Jewish holidays are dependent on the dates of the new moons. Intercalary months in lunisolar calendars. An intercalary month occurs 7 times in the 19 years of the Metonic cycle, or on average every 2.7 years. In the Hebrew calendar this is noted with a periodic extra month of Adar in the early spring. In the modern system of traditional full moon names tied to the solstice and equinox points, a supernumerary full moon in such a period is called a blue moon. The term blue moon, used in this sense, may date to as early as the 16th century, but it became well known in the United States due to the Farmer's Almanac. According to the Farmer's Almanac, a blue moon is the third full moon in any period between either solstice and equinox, or between equinox and solstice, which contains 4 full moons. These seasons are equal in length, unlike the astronomical ones, which vary in length depending on the Earth's speed in its elliptical orbit round the Sun. To compare, in 1983 the equal-length seasons began at 1:48 a.m. on the 23rd of March, 9:15 a.m. on the 22nd of June, 4:42 p.m. on the 21st of September and 12:10 a.m. on the 22nd of December. While the astronomical seasons began at 4:39 a.m. on the 21st of March, 11:09 p.m. on the 21st of June, 2:42 p.m. on the 23rd of September and 10:30 a.m. on the 22nd of December. Due to a misinterpretation of this definition in the March 1946 Sky and Telescope magazine, blue moon has also been used in the sense of the second full moon in any month which contains 2 full moons. According to either definition, blue moons occur with the average frequency of intercalary months, 7 times in 19 years. The Farmer's Almanac system of full moon names, effectively defining a lunisolar calendar,